Oh God, have mercy. You are doing your face like someone who's swallowing medicine, bitter medicine. So you see, I don't know if you've been able to see it as a 7 months goal. I don't think you have before now, but it's now a 7 months goal for you. 12K dollars, very achievable, very. So why I'm always doing this every now and then is because I need to recalibrate you guys' minds all the time. You can sit, please. I think it's 10 o'clock already. Yes. Yes, yes. Who will be sending questions and answers to? Yeah. No, I mean have you got is the questions ready? Teaching. No, I mean that means you didn't make a proper plan for it. We said it's within the training period. That's when the questions. So you didn't do proper planning for it. Like the questions be coming from when you're teaching. So the person online should be asking questions. Eh? Yeah. And then who will be correcting them? We just take their names and they are after the training. Yes. All right. So why I'm always doing why I'm always reenacting the goal setting procedure all the time is because I understand that that is the only true way people can always be on course to their destiny. Yes. Every other thing, if you don't know where you are going to, you will not know the amount of effort. You will not know the amount of time required. And by that way, you will not even be able to take yourself seriously. Something. It is not. So once again, welcome to our new week. This is the third week of second week of November 2024. So it means that our business year is almost coming to an end. Yes. In fact, the system have already started making drafting strategies for next year. So it means that in the grand scheme of things for the system, the year has ended. We have begun our next year plans. That's what it means. But for you, the entrepreneurs of the system, your year is still running. In fact, you are to decide when your own business year ends. So if your business year is going to end next year March, fine. If your own business fiscal year is going to end now, fine. But for the system, the system has already begun plans for next year. Right? So it's important you have that at the back of your mind. Please, let's settle in, please. Welcome to those online. How many people online are there? Welcome to those online and to those on site. Our roundtable session this week, today, is going to be very, very mind-blowing. Like I always say, the essence of learning is in repetition. The essence of learning lies in repetition. Then the results of what you have learned lies in action, right? You can only get to learn something properly well after you must have exposed yourself to it at least 10 times. You have been able to hear that thing over and over and over and over again. That's the only time it will settle into your spirit. Then you can only be able to become productive from a knowledge you have gathered if you've been able to apply that thing over and over and over again at least 21 times. You've been able to act on that thing at least for 21 times consistently. So for example, this goal setting, you've been able to try as much as possible to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 21 times. You've been able to try applying it for yourself, for your life, for 21 times. Same thing for sales. You've been able to do sales consistently for a very long period of time. That's the only time you can be able to say, you are getting productivity, you are getting results from your activity. And you will try as much as possible not to come into that point where you have a truncated schedule of action. What do I mean by that? So you start something now, you don't do it the next day, you don't do it the next second day, you do it again. The same pattern follows, you do it again. This is not consistency. This is not consistency in action. Consistency in action is like this. This consistency in action. Then hyper-consistency is now when you now do it like this, where there is no zeros in between. This hyper-consistency, right? So somebody who is still, many of you are still playing at this level. You do one today, you don't do it for the next 2 days, you do it again for the next 3 days, you don't do it again for the next 4 days, and you don't even feel apologetic about it. You don't feel bad about it. So if you're a salesperson, you don't feel bad that you don't achieve your goal every week or every day, then there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. There is a mindset that needs to be changed. There's a culture that needs to be changed. If at the end of the day you don't feel bad that you didn't achieve what you needed to achieve that day, as a salesperson, as an entrepreneur you are, then there is a disconnect somewhere. There is a mindset that needs to be rewired. So if you did prospecting yesterday, you called your clients yesterday, and today you didn't call them, and you didn't feel bad about it. Tomorrow you didn't call them and you didn't feel bad about it. Yeah? You did marketing today, tomorrow you didn't do marketing, you didn't feel bad about it. The next day you didn't do marketing and you didn't feel bad about it. And the next 3 days you casually remember this and choose to clumsily do it. And you didn't feel bad about it. That kind of mindset is the mindset of those at this part of the economic radar. They are called the employees. I have very big issues with people that function at this level. Like I always say, it's forgivable for you to start as an employee. In fact, many people today started as, every human being, most of the billionaires you know started as employees. Forgivable. Forgivable. It's even forgivable for you to start as a low-performing realtor or salesperson. It's very forgivable. It is forgivable. I mean, it is not bad. But it is quite insulting to your personality that after some time, you are still here and you are comfortable. See, it's a different ball game that you are here and you are having pepper body than that you are here and you are comfortable after some time. And like I always tell you guys, that timeline has nothing to do with the system telling you this is the amount of time you need to spend here. Yes, it's totally dependent on when you choose or the timeline you gave yourself. So if you gave yourself 1 month to stop thinking like this, it's going to work for you. If you give yourself 10 years, you want to think like an employee for the next 10 years, it's up to you. The system has got nothing on you. The system got nothing on you. If you must work with a wing group, you must be someone who is willing to think less of being an employee and begin to think like someone who is a business person. You must. It's a must. It's a big must. It's one of the, we can't even compromise that criteria. If many of the people that have left the system are people that me personally know, that if I continue with this person can never change. In fact, I was talking to some people, I was telling them, see, you must be quick enough to decipher people and decipher how long you need to cook them or groom them before they change. Some people, when you meet them, you only need to be with them for 3 months and they change. Why some people, you know that these people will take 10 years of your life, 10 good years of your life. As in, this person now will take 10 good years of your life for the person to change. And who has that time? Who has the time? If I'm running if I'm a multinational already, I can afford to take all of you and go and dump you in a place in 6 months training somewhere and be paying you guys salary every month and give people travel allowance, house allowance, feeding allowance, and be training you guys. But we are still at this level where we are up for efficiency and for productivity, right? With as little resources that we have on our disposal. So we want to make sure that we are running with people who are willing to run. People who are willing to maximize the 3 months probation that the system gives. Like I always tell people, see, somebody who will change in 3 months will change in 1 week. It's a fact. 3 months is a corporate approved timeline for probation, but somebody who will change in 3 months, in 1 week you see the signs. But somebody who will never change at all, after 3 months, then that time probation will come start. I'm not saying this because I just want to cast light. I'm saying this to individualize it for everyone. It's still relatable to when you are doing your sales yourself. Somebody who is going to do so well in sales, the first 1 week and the first 1 week approach will tell you if that person truly will be successful in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year. And it's totally dependent on that person. Totally dependent on that person. It has nothing to do with the pep. See, there's some people in fact, there are some people who are under my tutelage, and in a short period of time, they began to see results. Why some people have been there for months, and there's no result to show for it. It is not because the teacher is not teaching well, it's because the person receiving it. Okay. It is because the person receiving the information is not running with the information they are receiving. So before we continue, please let everybody go and share the link or the live link to the Facebook link, the statuses and the rest. Let people join us this morning. Let's use 1 minute. Those online, please share the link to your friends. Share it to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, your statuses. Share it. Next 1 minute, please. How many of us have done it already? I'm sharing too myself. Shared on my Facebook. So we have 1 more minute to do that, please. All right. All right. All right. So back to our training. So Once again, thank you those online that joined us this morning. So, like I was saying, it is important you understand that this is what consistency looks like, and this is what unseriousness looks like. Yeah? So consistency is this, hyper consistency is this. You do for a period of time, maybe due to a circumstance beyond your control, you miss a day, you continue same way, but this one you do one day, the next 2 days you don't do anything, the next 3 days you casually see yourself doing it, the next 3 days you're not doing anything, the next, this is not how serious people live their lives. Unfortunately, 90% of human race live their life like this, you know. Like I told you guys earlier, time is going to come when you're going to have a lot of sleep and a lot of time to rest, but it won't make sense to you any longer if you don't do what you need to do now. If you don't do what you need to do now, time is going to come. You're going to have a lot of time on your hands. Many of our parents have those times now. They rest a lot and they sleep a lot, and they wish they could do more for themselves, but there's nothing to do because there were no structures they set up when they were younger. They didn't set up businesses for themselves when they're younger, right? A Warren Buffett today is still working. In fact, he's been told to retire at the age of, I think, Warren Buffett should be around, I think, he should be up to 90 years now. 1 minute, please. Let me confirm his age. Warren Buffett, okay? He's 94 years. He was told to retire. He said that no, he's not, that he doesn't feel like retiring yet at 94 years. He's the world's greatest investor. He's the world's greatest investor. He's 94 years, one of the richest men in the world. He was told to retire. He said, there's no need to retire. What is he retiring for? He still feels strong. His acuity, thinking acuity is still sharp. He's still the person who calls the shot as to invest in this business at 94 years. Invest in this business. You don't invest in this business. Pull our money from this business and put it into at 94 years. So you see, the whole thing you're being told to are all lies. All the whole stereotype that the world has conditioned you to believe about who you are as a human being is lies. They only do that to put you at a position where you continuously be somebody who is going to help them achieve their goals. So as long as you're being an employee, you are helping a set of people achieve their goals every now and then, whether you like it or not. The world needs more people to be poor so that the few wealthy can call the shots. That is how the matrix works. Yes. And there's nobody that has ever been pulled by somebody else from poverty to wealth. The person will choose to move by themselves. Yes, you choose to move by yourself, whether you like it or not. So like I was telling you guys earlier now, 70% of the world, wealthiest people in the world are entrepreneurs, 25% are investors. Investors are people who don't own businesses but invest in businesses. That is where I'm working towards to become. Running a business is not a child's play. Right? So after some time, I'll become an investor. And I hope many of you will become investors too. So investors form 25% of the wealthiest population in the world. They make this money probably through contracts, through high-paying jobs. So they give themselves some timeline to accumulate some certain amount of money. Then after they must have accumulated, let's say, $50 million, $100 million, $20 million, $10 million, they will now go to companies that are profitable and pull in there and buy some shares and put their monies there and begins to earn dividends every year for the rest of their lives, as long as their money is in that system. That's who investors are. They form 25% of the wealthiest population. 5% are inherited wealth. Many of you act like you are in this percentage. Many people I know, poor people I know, behave like this, like they inherited wealth. Or God, dating your hand and walk. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Poor man, acting like you inherited wealth from somewhere where there's nothing. So many people I know act like they inherited wealth from nowhere, where there's nothing in the bank account, there's no inherited wealth anywhere. So this is what makes up the 100% of the wealthiest population in the world. There's no place you see an employee here. You can never see an employee there. You can never see a low-flying person include. This is 100%. 70 plus 30 is 100%. So the 100% of the wealth in the world is controlled by 70% business people, 25% investors, 5% inherited wealth. Yeah. So let that make sense. Let that declare. You can go and do your personal research later. Yeah. So let that make sense to you. Let that make sense to you. So when I'm always here clamoring that you should begin to behave like a business person, you should have timelines, you should have to-do lists, you should have goals, weekly goals, daily goals for yourself. I'm not saying it just because I want you to be productive for the system, because I want you to come to a point where you can also do well for yourself, honestly. And it's a ripple effect. If you're doing well for yourself, the system will benefit from it. Yes. If all of you here are closing 100 million in sales every month, it's your own 10 million now. That's your money. You are doing so well for yourself for God's goodness sake. The system is doing well for itself for God's goodness sake. It is a win-win situation. But there must be things you should do. And that is what we've been trying so hard to train you guys for the past weeks, months, from January this year up until now. We've been training every Monday, every Thursday, except for last week where we were the team we are, I don't know, so we've been training rigorously, so that you guys can come to a point where you have that mindset that you want to be productive for yourself. That's the ideology. That's the ideology. That's the ideology. So this morning we're looking at the topic Illuminate. I was supposed to take this in the last 3 weeks, but because of some engagement, I wasn't able to. So, like I always ask, how many people have actually gone to do a little research on the word Illuminate? How many people did the research on it? Okay, what did you find out as Illuminate? What do you mean? What do you get to be the meaning of Illuminate?
Illuminate brings to make something brighter or more visible, like to bring something into light.
Okay.
Yes.
Illuminate is to, Eliomos say illuminate is to make something brighter.
Yes. Could
Bring,
also mean to inform or enlighten.
to inform.
Yes. From the research, these are the definitions.
Inform or light or
Or
enlighten. Okay.
So those are two different.
Yes. In dictionary, yeah, you definitely have some. Yes. Who else did a little research on what the word illuminate?
And also making them see things from different perspectives.
Making people see things from a different perspective. Making people see stuff from different. It's same as thing actually. Sorry, from different perspective. All right. Who else has another perspective to the word illuminate? All right. I mean, assuming we all did the research, I would have even asked, how can you relate this word to what you're doing as a business person? Yeah. How can you relate the word illuminate to what you're doing here as a sales business person? You want to see me? Okay. Are you busy or something? Okay. So illuminate, just like Eliomos said, is to bring light into something. Is to bring light into something. Is to enlighten. So how many of us have heard of the word Illuminati? How many of us have heard about Illuminati? Many of us have it. It sends some negative chill, right? Yeah, Illuminati, Church of Satan, yeah. Sorry, I mean those online. We are not promoting it here. So Illuminati actually came from the word illuminate. And a little brief history about Illuminati. Illuminati started on the notion of good ideologies, right? Yeah, it's to enlighten the world, because then the church was holding the world ransom. The church hid so many knowledge from the human population. Many books were not allowed into the public domain. So Illuminati actually came to draw up those information and teach people about truly what life is. So they formed that movement. After some time, it was hijacked. It was hijacked by Rumokoro people. And what we have today is what ensued afterwards, right? So that's the word Illuminati came from illuminate, to actually enlighten people, to brighten people. Yeah. So as a human being, your job as a human being is to constantly put yourself in position where you are constantly enlightened. And mind you, people always find themselves in position whether you are being dimmed or you are being brightened. You are at every point you find yourself, you are either being illuminated or you are being dimmed or darkened. At every point, there's no coincidence. Let me repeat. At every position you find yourself, so you are seated here this morning, you are being enlightened, you are being illuminated, you are being brightened up. Your mind is being brightened up. Remember, see here, the Bible remains the best business book there is in the history of mankind. All the stuff written in the pages of the Bible have a business side of it. If you're able to look deeply and study and meditate deeply, you will see how it reflects off your business. So when the Bible says that as a man thinketh, so he is. As a man thinketh, so he is. It simply means that the position of your mind per time is who you are. And this enlightenment we're talking about is about your mind. The enlightenment we are talking about this morning is about your mind. So if you now understand that the enlightenment happens in your mind, and that for every position you find yourself every moment of the day, you are either being enlightened or darkened, you will take your decisions and your positions more seriously. So like I always tell people, when Jesus was on this planet, right, he never cracked a joke. It didn't mean that he never saw situations to crack joke. But he understands the power of posture of the mind. He understands the power of little concept as there's power in the spoken word. He understands all those concepts with thought. In fact, he understands that there is nothing like a joke here while we're here on this planet. And that was why he was able to have the result he had in 3 years. He only held 3 years ministry on this planet, and he was able to have the result that he had that we are still trying to comprehend up until today. Only 3 years. Because of the amount of seriousness and the amount of seriousness he attached to illumination. So, illumination simply means putting yourself in position where you are always enlightened and brightened up. And every high flyer, every person who is willing to move the ladder of life towards greatness must consistently and consciously find themselves or put themselves in positions where they are constantly enlightened. As a salesperson, as a business person, you must always mind the positions and situations you find yourself every day. This is not a factor of some days. This is a factor of every day. See, what I'm teaching you is what high flyers do. I don't come here to teach you guys strategies that everyday salesperson walks by. No, I don't want to raise those kind of people. I want people who think like billionaires, people that think like people that wants to become the greatest of their kind. Hope that makes sense. So, illumination simply means putting yourself in positions where you are constantly enlightened. Enlightenment means you're learning stuff that's going to help you become better. It has to become a routine for you. It has to become a pattern for you. As I'm speaking now, you should begin to do what I call self-analysis. Begin to expunge, begin to dictate those, fault lines in your daily schedules that actually put you in compromising situations where you are constantly darkened. And what are those things that darkens people? It's unproductive activities. Unproductive activities are the fastest way to dim your light, to darken your light, to kill your destiny by yourself. Unproductive activities. And there's a direct correlation. See, there's a direct correlation between your mind and the activities you do. So the mind is the single most important element you possess as a human being. I can come here every day and tell you you are a billionaire, you can make as much money as you can make, but if you don't see that happen right down there in your mind, if you don't see it, and that is why we always say, do your affirmation every morning. That's why we always encourage you guys to do your affirmations because the mind is a very tricky entity. The mind, I'm trying to be as fast as possible. The mind is a very tricky entity. So, the mind functions more on the information is exposed to per time. So, for example, you've prayed in the morning, today is a blessed day, today is a wonderful day, God has taken control of today, my going out and my coming in is blessed. Fine, beautiful prayer, you have affirmed it, you have professed that over your life for the day. But because the mind constantly needs to be in that posture of enlightenment for the greater part of the day, if you don't consistently put it in that posture, you now come to work, your boss shouts for you, your client disappoints you, your mind is attacking actually. This is already an enlightened mind. This is a mind that has already been prayed a lot, have studied a lot, have listened to a lot of podcasts, read a lot of books within the weekend. It's rearing to go. It is active, right? You've come to work. All these factors are attacking your mind. If you don't put your mind in that posture of consistency of enlightenment, these whole factors will come and dim your light in a second. And what happens is that you revert back to your normal natural state of very low vibration. It means that you now come to the point where you revert back to where you feel more comfortable, which is the place where you begin to sulk, the place you begin to complain, begin to engage in unproductive activities, you begin to complain, you begin to gossip and the whole thing. Because you have not been able to saturate your mind enough. So there was an analogy that my pastor did yesterday. I think I saved that video on my phone. I think I saved that video on my phone. So it's actually, let me illustrate it. So it was actually a glass of cup, that had wine in it. So that wine represents darkness in the mind of people. So in that case, it was actually the gospel here, right? So, but I'm just trying to bring it down to what we're doing. So this is a glass cup that has the wine in it. So this wine is black. It's a red wine that is a bit darker. So this wine represents darkness, represents all the whole negativities that our environment has, drew into our minds, made us believe and made us become. So now there was a tap of water over here. So when you now put this glass of cup directly under this tap of water and on the tap, and the water keeps flowing inside, this water represents new information, represents the word of God, represents the things you need to learn, the things you need to know, the prayers you are praying, everything that you're trying to put inside your mind. Remember, this is your mind. This is who you are. So this water we keep pouring inside the water, and the thing is that when the water starts pouring inside this glass cup, it doesn't turn white immediately. The water will keep pouring and keep pouring and keep pouring. Gradually, the water will start changing from red or black, as the case may be. Gradually, it begins to become light red, very light red. It took a long period of time before it now gradually become totally white. Hope that illustration makes sense. It means that one exposure to new information, one exposure to new enlightenment is not enough for you to think that you have learned enough to run with. That's why many people are still dark inside. Because they believe that that one particular seminar or that one Monday roundtable session they have come is enough. Right? They just believe that that one video they have watched about probably a mindset change on how to become a billionaire or how to sell better, just that one podcast they listened to, or that one book they read, or that one chapter they read, they think it is enough to eliminate the amount of darkness, the amount of, um, 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 you know, um, the amount of darkness, I'm trying to find the right word to use, that they have been able to imbibe all their life. That one activity is not enough. You need to constantly pour in and keep pouring in a lot of light, a lot of information into your mind consistently to get rid of the whole narrative, the whole stereotype that you've been able to build all your life. People that understand this concept are people who have decided to do things the right way. They consistently put themselves in situations where they are always feeding their mind with new information. And not just new information, they go back to the information they are already taught and they they feed on it more. They begin to put more of it into their minds. But like I told you guys, the essence of learning is in repetition. So you don't learn something once and you go and sleep and say that's enough and you go for the next one. At the end of the day, you will not be grounded in anything. You will not be grounded in anything. Elioma, are you here with us? You're pressing your phone. Yeah, so you need to understand this concept. So illumination simply means you need to constantly enlighten your mind with new information about what you're headed, about what you need to do. Like I told you guys, it's about your mind. And that is why many of the adverts they do it targeting your mind. Many of the movies you watch on Netflix is targeted towards your mind. Many of us, when we were growing up, the concept of gay and lesbianism was an absurdity in our ears, in our eyes. Many of us don't even want to talk about it then, when we were younger. We don't even want to mention it because of Sodom and Gomorrah then, because we were Bible students. But now, it is even a discourse. It's now even a discourse. Many of your friends now even tell you there's nothing bad with it. Many of us here have the ideology that lesbianism and gayism is not bad because they understand the power of mind. So that's why, and what caused it? Because they have been able to sell it through movies. Many of you even watch those scenarios in your movies. You don't fast forward. You just consume it the way it is, and it continue. It's nothing. It's just 2 seconds. But the effect that has on you is far more powerful because the next movie you're going to watch, they're still going to re-emphasize it. The next movie they're still going to re-emphasize. For the next 10 movies you're watching, you are seeing it happen, and it becomes a normalcy in your mind. It has darkened your mind. So that's how they're able to achieve their agendas. The same way you should be able to achieve your own agenda of the darkening you need to come to a point where you choose to de-darken your mind. And you can only achieve that through illumination, pursuing the concept of illumination, of enlightenment. You have to come to the point where you are able to pursue it through enlightenment. So why do a business person or a salesperson need enlightenment? It is a no-brainer, basically. I mean, I don't think there is a downside to a salesperson seeking illumination. I don't think there's a downside to it. It's important that every entrepreneur seeks illumination every day. First of all, why is to get better at what you do, get better at your work. Number 2 is to make more impact. I'll break this down later. Get better at what you do as a person is to make more impact. And thirdly is to, of course, change your economy, basically. Change your personal economy. One of my greatest fears in the world is to be in a space where people are having a discussion and I don't have anything to contribute. It's good to learn. It's good to be a student. But people will, at some point in your life, people should begin to take it serious. Yes. At a certain age in your life here on earth, people should begin to take you serious. And that is totally dependent on what happens when you open your mouth in rooms, in places. Many of you, when you say, I'll give you, I'll fight you, I'll do this one, if you give me, I give you. Those are those are low life languages. You know, those are low life languages. You know, no, they are not civil. They are not high performing languages. You know. So that my greatest fear, like I said, is to be in a room where I don't have anything to contribute because I don't know anything more. That should be the singular most fearful thing for everybody too. Where you are in a position to help somebody with new knowledge to make their life better, you cannot because you don't know it. That should be your greatest fear as a human. Not even about yourself. If somebody is going through a rough patch, you can't help the person. Either by knowledge or by money. It's a bad place to be. And how can you be able to avert such a disastrous situation? Is by pursuing illumination. Yes. Illuminati started from the word illumination. They wanted to train some certain kind of people to think in a certain way. And does it surprise you why majority of the world richest people are in Illuminati and Freemasonry? The information they were sharing, we are truly illuminating. So, it's not even a conspiracy story, it's a fact. Napoleon Hill, that wrote Think and Grow Rich, was hired by Rockefeller to write a book about the lifestyle of the billionaires then, what they do. Write it as a book and bring to him. He paid him to do the research. So Napoleon Hill did the research for how many years and wrote a 16-page book then. It wasn't titled Think and Grow Rich. The 16-page was direct to the point. The rich people do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 200, 300, finish in 16 pages. He brought it back to Rockefeller. Rockefeller said, no, don't make this book public. In fact, go and burn all this book if it has been printed. Water it down further. He did it again. He said, no, this is still very much informative. Water it down again. So that's where we now got to Think and Grow Rich today. That many people are still farms in. The Think and Grow Rich today that is almost 500 pages was a watered down version of a 16-page manuscript that Napoleon Hill did find out about wealthy people. So what am I trying to say is this. There's some kind of information that is hidden from you and I. And you can only get those kind of information if you choose to become a student from today. If you choose to become a student who knocks on those doors that have the information you want. But first of all, you must make up your mind that you want to be illuminated, you want to gain new knowledge, you want to become a better person, first of all. If you don't make up your mind, you will always be thrown around by every wind of the doctrine that is right there in the society today, right? So there's a Bolo Festival. Sorry, I'm not saying it's a bad one, but instead of you to, if, for example, on the day of Bolo Festival or anything party, there might be a master class happening, but you choose to go for a Bolo Festival over the master class. It is a bad place to be if you want to become a high flyer. If you still prioritize entertainment over knowledge acquisition, you have not started living. You are still below the radar here. You are still helping the world achieve their goals. And I want you guys to go and do the research. The role that you play, what is your role in this whole matrix? In this whole earthly system, what is your role currently at the level you're playing? Go and do that research. Somebody in your level. You can tell Google, someone who is earning 50,000 per month, who is not making, doesn't have any extra source of income, who is an employee for the last 3 months. What is my role in Earth? Type it. Ask Google. He will tell you in the whole grand scheme of events. Add again, somebody who is not somebody who doesn't get angry at the end of the month. I know nothing they really pay me. I just did. Just give me my own analysis. Let me know where I am at currently. You will understand your role. Do your research. So what I'm trying to say is this. So this was what happened to Think and Grow Rich, basically, because they needed to have a lot of knowledge from the normal people. And there's still some people that have this knowledge. But the thing is this, you've never been able to push yourself to make enough sales to be able to pay for such trainings. Most of those trainings are costly. I can always tell you guys, a Tony Illuminate can readily go and enroll for a 2 week course at Harvard Business School and pay $20,000. $20,000 is almost 300 million for 2 weeks course. That way. Have anybody thought about it? They will be the happening thing in the town while they were alive, when they were younger, with their 4 shops at Alaba International Market, making a lot of money. Every Christmas they come home with a new car and spray money, but immediately something bad happens to them. The business goes because there's some kind of knowledge they don't have. There's an amount of darkness in their mind. It is not it is a bad darkness basically. But the thing is that they don't even know they need those knowledge. So I'm trying to rewire your mind to begin to think like how very productive and very wealthy people think. Wealthy people work with time. Like I told you guys, I'm 33 next year. I have only 7 years to 40 years. I don't have time. Many of you are older and younger than me. But I'm just telling you what is pushing me. Hope that makes sense. That is the power of you wanting to be illuminated, wanting to be enlightened. You need to come to that point where you prioritize illumination. Now, like I always tell people, if you don't have a grand vision in sight, everything will appear trivial to you. If you don't have a grand vision in sight, everything will appear normal. Even this training will be like one of those trainings we do, and after the training, you just go back and sit back and do the normal thing. You don't call your prospect, you don't share your flyers, you don't engage in relationship building activity with your prospect. You're just living your normal life, right? Nothing really they bother you. But if you understand the last analysis I want to give here this morning about how you're supposed to live your life, you will now understand the power of you taking up enlightenment seriously, or training seriously, or learning and acting on what you learn seriously. So as a human being, there is a pathway that you must strive to achieve before you leave this planet. It is a pathway of learning first, mastering second, then for mastering, you training, okay, so first of all, sorry, I think I missed something here. So you learn, you doing, mastering. For mastering, you go to training. Then training, you go to delegation. So this will form the last part of our training this morning. If you are able to internalize this concept for yourself, you will now understand the power of seeking out enlightenment like your life depends on it. Remember, I always tell you guys that if you're going to become a millionaire, a billionaire like many of you envisage yourself to be, you cannot do sales alone. You cannot do life alone. You cannot do business alone. Hope that makes sense. Only few people have understood and flew with your concept. That's why many of you are not even calling me to come speak to your downlines. Many of you have not understood that concept. They cannot do business alone, cannot do life alone. That's why many of you are still believing so much in your personal muscles and your personal effort. But I believe that gradually it will make sense to most of you. You cannot do life alone. You cannot do life alone, no matter how much you try. I'm serious. You cannot do life alone. That is why many of the wealthy people today, after their retirement from their high-paying job, they come back to the village and they begin to live. After 5 years, they begin to live a normal life. It's not because they wanted to. It's because the money they saved, their children have finished it in school fees in US. Yes, now. When your child school fees is yearly, £20,000 or dollars, and you were able to save 200 million, £20,000 is almost 30 million. If you do it 3 years, you gradually, you and your wife will come back to Port Harcourt, Nigeria, and say, you people love home. Nothing like nobody. How can you tell me you Santorini? How can you say you love Port Harcourt past Santorini? It's not possible. But come on, shut up your mouth. There is African restaurant in Santorini. They cook even better egusi soup than here. See this person. See this person. Even if it's processed one, you eat it well. How can you even say that? Why they move is because their money has gone down. It's purely economical. And why was it so? Because they thought they could do life alone. They thought that all their savings is enough. They refused to become venture capitalists. They refused to invest in businesses. They refused to use their money to buy cash flow assets. Probably. They believe solely in their personal effort. And that's why they came back to ground one. Let me not say zero. They came down to ground zero. What I'm teaching you guys here this morning is something that will keep you on your feet even when you're in your old age. So, the greatest people in the world today and the greatest business people, remember, I refuse to call you guys sales people, I prefer to call you people business people, are people that prioritize learning in every part, in everywhere they find themselves. They can do anything to learn anything. As long as that is going to help their business, they can do anything to learn anything. Just like you're doing here this morning. They will do everything to implement to a fault or to a latter everything they have learned. They are not information reservoirs. They are a conduit by which information flows. They are information dispensers. They are doers. That's what I'm trying to say, right? They are doers. So they try as much as possible to do to the last bit everything they have learned. Yes. It's one thing to sound intelligible. It's another thing to be intelligent. Being intelligent means you have results. Yes. It's a fact. You can come here and tell me all that you've learned. Masters, you want to be a PhD, right? Fine, beautiful. But you can come here and tell me everything you've been able to acquire in your lifetime. But if there's no result to it, you are a dumbass. Sorry, you're a dumb something. You are just a dumb something, basically. You are just one of the 8 billion people on the planet who doesn't matter. Right? So after you do it, the next thing they focus on is to master it. Mastering simply means you might be sleeping and you are called up and say, do this thing, you do it. That's mastery. You don't need to refer back to any note. You don't need to refer back to anybody. You don't need to call me to ask me, sir, please, how do I do this? You just do it. That's mastery. This is where many people don't get to. And this is why many people's life stops at some point. Many people don't come to the point of mastery in their lifetime. What do I mean by that? Many people now, when you call them and say, what are you so good at? I think I can sing. I think I can. On a normal good day, I can sing. Apart from singing, I think I can also write. Yes, most of the letters where my popsy been. I think I can also play football. I get many talent. I get plenty talent. Many people stop here. They're just doing everything, right? There's no mastery. So to you now, what do you think you're a master at? Peace. Sorry, I mean purity. What are you a master at currently? a master art. You know? So why many people don't build communities after learning is because they have not been able to master something that they can train people on. So community building, that is where life becomes meaningful, is because you've been able to master something. They can train people on it. This is where your life begins to make sense. Yes, this is where legacy is built. The dividends of your effort. Many of us don't even have people to meet now on behalf of our parents that help me. Because your parents live all their life by themselves. It's not their fault. That's the amount of information they had access to. But it will be forbidden for you in 2024, under my voice, to still end up like that. So you must strive to be a master at sales, at least for many of you here. In fact, you should begin to call yourself a professional sales coach. That will put you under undue pressure, and that's the kind of pressure you need. Yes. You need that kind of pressure. Yes. You need that kind of good pressure, where you put yourself under undue pressure of becoming a professional sales master, or probably a marketing master, or a closer, or something. But you need to come to the point where you've been able to master a concept. It has become your brand. It has become who you are. It's true. It's not actually a claim. Many people online, they claim something. When you have gone to many people by your right? Dad, preacher, thinker, business owner, change investor, change agent. 17 titles. But more money no day to chop food today. Nothing came out. Those are claims. It does not hold water. On the day of reckoning, the truth will be shown. We come to the fore, right? So you need to truly master a concept, truly master something. Why many of you want to grow communities? Many of you want to have people follow you. It's an inherent need in humans. Human beings have that inherent desire to get people to follow them. Yes. Many people I've met want to really come to a point where they are impactful, where they want to train people, where they want people to follow their concept and be in their school of thought. It is an inherent need for everybody wants to be great, in fact. But it only happens when you've been able to master a concept. So at this point, it will bring me to what I want to tell you guys later before I end the training. So at this point, you can now be able to train people. You want to come to a point where you've been able to train enough people that you can now delegate tasks. This is what we call systems, right? This is what we call systems. So happiness can do some things on behalf of the company. Long John can do something on behalf of the company. That's systems. And at this point, if they're not bringing results, that you are now running a profitable venture. You are now running a profitable life, right? You understand what I'm saying? Where your downlines, 70% of them are great salespeople at the end of the month. You don't even need to lift any, you don't even need to do any sales again. All you need to do at the end of the month, you just go to your dashboard and withdraw your money and just live your life the way you want. Yeah. This is the pathway to illumination. This is how it works. So the pathway to illumination is you move from self and graduate into external. Self-illumination to external illumination, right? Where you're able to draw a lot of light into yourself. So the sun can only give light to the moon because it has enough light inside of it. If the sun was a dormant rock that is dark and has no light, it cannot give light to Earth. This sunlight we are seeing today was given to us by the sun. And it was because the sun has enough light inside of it. That's why it can be able to give us light, right? Assuming the sun was like a moon, it cannot give us light. The moon doesn't give light, right? the moon only reflects off light. So that's the way the surface of the moon is created by God. That it doesn't absorb light. When it gets light, it pushes out to earth. So the sun remains the source. So you need to come to the point where you become self-illuminated. This is where you start the self-illumination from. Yes. There's no other way to get yourself to become a great person aside from learning, honestly. Learning is the most important element in your journey to greatness. The second most important part is doing. The third is mastery. Mastery is the singular most important. Then when you have mastered, your life is beginning to give your life some form of shape. So you need to begin here and end here. This is where you now become a source of light to people. You've had some people say that, that our brother ain't be the only source of light in this family. Elemo can relate. It means that person chose to do what many other people didn't want to do in the family. Yes. Yes. Especially senior brother, and then they only suffer that suffer. You know, they suffer it, then the last one will be chopping food. My senior brother have not sent me money. That my senior brother is wicked. You know. On a lighter note though. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. You have to come to a point where you become a source of light to people. That's the God's desire for mankind. Yeah? That is God's desire for you. That at some point you become the hope for the newbies in the industry. Just because they have come in contact with you, just because you sign them up into the sales business, they are hopeful that their life is going to change. Because they see you as a proper source of light to them. And because you're truly now a light yourself. Because you've been able to learn and you've been able to do and you've been able to master and you have results you can train people on. That is the pathway God wants us to follow in the path of enlightenment. Where you move from being self-illuminated to becoming a source of light to others. That is how God wants us to live our lives like. That's how God wants us to live. And this is the pathway. This is structure to it. Anything be long, can you see it? This is a pathway to becoming a light to your generation. When you hear, I will be a light to my generation. How many of us used to pray that kind of prayer? I will be a light to my generation. I will be a voice in my generation. This is the pathway. It doesn't just happen. Because you might be given a platform. If you don't follow this pathway, you'll be given a microphone and a podium. You go there and talk nonsense. Yes, now. Of course, now. Many people have been given platforms, but nothing came out. Of course. Let's use an example. One of the most weird and odd example I would like to give is the Big Brother Nigeria, right? It's a platform. Although I don't subscribe to it, but many people come out from such a huge platform and their lives, oh my, raise his, you understand what I'm talking about? Yeah, well, like, why few of them came out and they continued? Some continued and after by their life. It's because they don't understand this concept, basically. When preparation meets opportunity, it becomes luck, right? Yes. When you've learned enough, when you've been able to master enough, and you are given opportunity, that's where many people, their life changes. You understand? Nobody knows. All of a sudden, you climbed a podium and you spoke, and people's lives were changed. And that is where you began your journey towards becoming a great speaker. Begin to travel the world. Evusi Tembakwayo is a speaker because he has results. In fact, he makes much of his money on stand-up speaking than his businesses. Yes. Somebody that, I think his fee currently is almost $100,000. That's almost 160 million naira to speak. Because opportunity made preparation. Assuming that he was a coconut head and he was given a podium to speak, at the end of that speaking, that will be the end of his career. Yes. Many, let me not say the church actually. So this pastor has set a standard in his church. You know, he preaches a lot, great stuff every Sunday, and he went and he invited an external pastor. The pastor, coconut head. Pastor came that Sunday and was preaching off point, preaching nonsense. First timers, first of all, will not come back next Sunday. Let's let that man make sense. So those tithes and those offerings are Allah. They have gone to informal church. Secondly, that invited pastor, if there were people in that church that would have recommended him to probably to their companies or to somebody to come and speak to people, that's the end of his career. Because he wasn't prepared. He wasn't. So that is what people tag log. Preparation meeting opportunity. Then stupidity meeting opportunity. It is you killing yourself by yourself. And the good thing is that, before I end my training this morning, the good thing is that we all have equal time in the day, 24 hours. We all have it. In fact, you are not much more busier than the next person that is having a result. You're not. No. Don't be apologetic about your schedules. Don't be apologetic about the fact that what could be the reason? What could be actually be eating up your time? Could there be anything that will be so big that will steal from you that time you need to invest into yourself? What could be that? Could be sleep. Yes. Of course, if you have family to cater to, you must cater to your family. But it shouldn't be an excuse as to why you are not illuminating yourself, you're not enlightening yourself, you're not learning enough. No, it shouldn't be an excuse. Like I always tell people then in university days, for some of us who jack a lot, despite how busy your day is, you put your leg inside bucket and read. How many of us did that? Gen Zs. Okay. Ifuma cannot do that kind of. Ifuma can never do it. She didn't come to this world to come and die. Anything she didn't learn during the day, in the exam hall, you will write it the way she wants to write it. But I'm just trying to tell you that if you call something, is the name you give something that it becomes. If you tag your personal development and your personal enlightenment as a serious task for yourself, you will do everything within your power to aim it, to get it. How many of us have read a book from beginning to end this year? One book, I'm not saying two, one. Since January up until November. No lies, please. Nobody. Online, how many? Raise your hands, please. Nobody. Oh, okay. How many books? 3 books. That's amazing. 3 books. She's a mother of 2 with a busy schedule. She's able to read 3. Let me wow you. Elon Musk reads 1 every week. I try as much as possible to read 1 every month. Try so hard, but I make sure 1 every month goes down. So the question now is, at that pace of enlightenment, how long do you want to spend as a human before you're able to get rid of the darkness inside? Because what I like it or not, it's about the information you gather that brightens up your mind. Yes. Why so many people, when they see cockroach at night, they begin to shake, and while others see it, they just carry something and kill it? It's information they have. Yes. It's information they have. So for me, Christ in me is the hope of glory. Any idiot will show face go collect. So nothing comes into me at any time of the day that scares me. But to that person who believes in die by fire, Operation Bulldozer, Iron Breaker, that song will do more harm in the body of Christ. People that have that kind of mindset, anything that flies around, fear, So it's information you have inside of you. Is the enlightenment you need, is the information inside of you. Yes, That somebody in the body of Christ can lay hands and heal the sick and you cannot do it is the information they have. It's not anointing. It's information. In fact, what even builds anointing is information. So, enlightenment is key. You need to. What do you need to learn on? What are you deficient on? There's so much because you are. Oh, you are not breaded. So because you're not breaded, it means there's a lot of information gap in your mind. There's some things you're not doing right, but you need to do them. You need to prioritize them as a salesperson. If you have gathered those information and you're not doing them, then you are not even much more better than somebody who only learned. Right? Or who doesn't even know, sorry. If you've learned and you're not doing, you're not much more better than somebody who doesn't know. You don't know that you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're not doing it. You are just living like a normal person. So it means you're intentionally dimming your own light by yourself. That's what you're doing, invariably. So you need to understand the power of enlightenment. You need to understand the pathway towards becoming a source of light to your generation. You need to understand the pathway of self-illumination to external illumination. It's important. Very important. Very, very important. Strategy, fine, but if you don't understand all these concepts at the very best, yes, you have not. You have not. If you have, you should be shining. It should be a shining light. It should be clear. It should be obvious. So as long as you are not yet shining, as long as you're not yet in the lips of many, as long as you're not being recommended in rooms you're not in, you still have a lot of enlightenment to do for yourself. You still have a lot of showing up to do. Yes, you still have a lot of intentionality you need to imbibe. You should let go of entertainment for now. I keep saying this. Time is going to come, eh? You are going to have a lot of time to watch movies. In fact, now you go even tire. When they bring like they do, nobody to only watch movie. What again? You just tire. Flee. Go and intentionally spoil your TV in your house. For those of you who have talked to your TVs, if it's your phone, delete those apps that takes a lot of your time. Delete them. Be intentional. Be intentional. A course on Udemy is barely $5. For God's goodness sake. $5 is roughly 10,000. 10,000 naira. Shawarma is how much? Eliomo. Cloaker fish. Peppered one, how much? 9K. And many of us every weekend make sure that we use it to dilute our intestine. We use it to position some things. Yeah. That is entertainment that is taking over, illumination. You have prioritized entertainment over what is going to help you grow. Honestly. So as a business person, you must always prioritize this pathway. In fact, if you find yourself in compromising position where your light is being dimmed, intentionally walk away from such positions. And what I'm trying to get you to guide to become this morning is to become aware and become aware of yourself, become self-aware basically, so that when you find yourself in those positions where your light is being compromised, you'll be quick enough to jack yourself up and leave. Gossip, complaints, complaints, bad energy, those things is what is going to dim your light more. Yes. You can substitute them with prayers, with reading, with meditation, with doing, calling, meetings. These are, giftings. These are ways to interchange and to substitute, those other things that are dimming your light. The idea is to be as bright as possible in the shortest period of time. Yes. There's no age limit to you. You mustn't become a billionaire at the age of 60. It is not a must. You can do that. You can become that at the age of 35. You can become that at the age of 40. You can become that at the age of 25. There's no timeline. There's no blueprint anywhere. It's always totally dependent on you. So please, this week, all the things you guys have planned for yourself for this week, it is achievable if you are willing to pursue this. I keep begging you guys, call me to come and speak to your downlines. Virtually. It tells them that you care. You cannot do this life, you cannot do this business alone. If I could have done Win Realty alone, I would have just remained. You understand what I'm saying? And there will not be any need for paying this salary every month. Honestly. But I understood that life cannot be done alone. Say you should begin to think like that too. Your indirect employees are your downlines now. Because that's where money comes from. Yes. Is it not clear yet to you guys? Those online, I mean, is there any other thing that is hell? Your indirect employees are your downlines. So as the company is dedicating their time every week doing this, the same stress. It's not easy. You think it's easier to come in every Monday and come and talk and speak? It's not easy. Thursday evenings, it's not easy. So please, this week I'm charging you guys to prioritize enlightenment. Try, please. I love to have intelligent conversations with people. I love to talk with people who are doing something for themselves, who are moving on for themselves. Because that's the magic pathway to greatness. That you're going to ride your Range Rover or you're going to ride the next big thing in the next 2 years is a reflection of what you're saying now when you open your mouth. Yes, who you're going to become in the next 2 years doesn't happen next 2 years. It starts now. Yeah? Yes, it starts now. It doesn't start next 2 years. It starts now. Yes. How do you have something as little as conflict? How do you handle conflict? Yeah. How do you think about events? How distracted are you at every point? Are you part of those people that always ask where they happen or where they happen? Those kind of people are drop location. Are you part of the drop location gang in 2024 and you want to become a billionaire? It will not work. Billionaires don't do drop location. Yes. No. And that I always tell you guys, you need to come and redefine what fun is for you. Really, you need to redefine what. See, life is intentional, though. Life is very intentional, honestly. Any other thing you are thinking about life is a joke. Life doesn't end in December 31st and start again in January 1st. So many of you, that's how your life runs. After you must have messed yourself up in the year, say, by December 31st, I'll just carry everything and go to the feet of Jesus and say, Father, this year is a stupid year. January 1st, you start again. That is a stupid routine. That is what poor people, that's how they live their lives. Life is very intentional. You need to redefine what fun is to you. See, this world has led many people into oblivion, into stupid circumstances. They are seeking fun, right? You need to redefine what fun is to you. What is fun to you? Fun to me is, I always tell people, fun is to me is when Naira and Kobo is dropping into my account. That thing, they be like say a day club. Naira just enter. I go high. That's what fun is. So any activity that will lead you to this, what is my recreation is, honestly. That's why I do gymming twice every week to exercise my body. So in case I'm not dancing, I have a place I can go and stretch my skin. So that I can be able to consistently be in this my fun activity every time of the year. So this is my fun. My fun is Naira and dollars dropping into my account. I go just high. Come like I do on shisha. You misbehave anyhow. This is fun for me. This is my location. This is my location, basically. So any meeting that doesn't lead towards Naira and Kobo, don't call me. Leave me alone. Leave me in my boring state. I have a lot of things I'm thinking about. So you need to redefine what fun is to you. Redefine it. That sentence, all fun and no play makes like a dull boy, it is not in Bible. It is not in Bible. Jesus didn't play football. He didn't go to club for almost 3 years. You go say, how did I tell you? I know. He didn't do it. Funny enough, he didn't even have a girlfriend for 3 years while he was on flesh. He was a serious-minded person. That was why he was able to go to heaven. Ajimi say, Ajimi say, You for be for him, honestly. So please, you need to redefine fun for yourself as a business person. Stop seeing yourself as a salesperson. If you want to be a salesperson, go to Rumoko and carry bucket of cold drinks and be selling. That's a salesperson. You're not invariably providing any solution. It's only short-term taste. It's a short-term solution. But if you want to drive impact and drive change and become a business, a big person, this is what you need to do. You need to redefine fun. At least for the next 10 years of your life, be boring. Next 10 years, highest you should be 40 or 45. You still have like another 40 years to live your life. If Christ tarries and in good health, amen. You still have after 45, you still have 40 more years to live your life. Who told you that you can't have fun? Who told you that? So please don't let the mirage of, all play and no work, no be me go, no be me kill Jesus, I cannot come and kill myself. Don't let the mirage of those statements kill you before your time, steal your future away from you, right? This is the time you have to put in the work. Do those footwork, meet those clients, speak to them, galvanize your winner associate, your downline, galvanize them, get them to become pumped or fired up. This is the time you have for it. Except you have another plan for 2025. Many of you do one business every year. Yes, now 1 year, one business. This year, in real estate, you no work. Next year, another one. Yes, now. Which one they pay? They say this one, they say the name now, kill and bury. Bring 2 dead body, you have 1 million. Yes, now. This one is a naira, crypto naira. Share link. People just worry me for no reason. Spin and win. You will spin for 3 months. The day now when I go cash out, they go say network has collapsed. That kind of lifestyle is a very stupid lifestyle. That is where the people in that 100% wealth create, that's where they want you to be at. You don't agree to be that person. Commit the next 5 years of your life to a cause. You must be successful in it. And if you have made up your mind to do real estate for a long time, you will not have you develop an analytical mindset. It means that when you fail of something, you will go back and realize why you failed. Why didn't this client buy? But if you have not made up your mind to be that kind of person, every failure means nothing to you. I don't think I will do this in next year, but let's just be rolling it. Let's just be doing it, Let's just be doing it. Anywhere the thing leads us to. Next year, 1st of January, I already told my husband, I already told my brother, he should start looking out for work for me in civil service. This thing, I'm not sure if I continue like this, I'm not going to nothing. I'm not going to do anything. So if you have that kind of mindset, then you will keep running in circles every year. There's no magic. People that have tried doing what many of people I know are doing today have never made it in life. Nobody has made it playing less or playing 1 business per year or playing 3 businesses per year. Nobody has ever made it. I don't know what motivates them, but me, I sat down at a very young age and saw that it is balderdash. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So you need to make up your mind as to what you need to become. So thank you once again. Then to reward those, so it is a time for the airtime reward session, right? We want to reward airtime to 2,000 to 5 people, right? Yeah. So I think the question is give us 5 things you learned from our training today, right? Post it on the group. 5 things you learned from our training today that stood out for you, well explained. and post it on our WhatsApp group, Winner Associate WhatsApp. So those online, if you're not in our WhatsApp group currently, you can chat up the admin or anybody there will follow up with you and give you the link to join our group. So give a detailed explanation of 5 things you learned. So the first 5, or not even the 5 with the most robust explanation, gets 2,000 naira airtime recharge from Win Realty today. And that's our own way of saying thank you for joining us for today's roundtable session. That's going to be the new method going forward. Yeah. So it is actually to help you. Let's even know whether you are listening in or you are just playing around during the training. So give us 5 very thick points that you gathered from our training this morning. Well explained. Well explained. In your own perspective, right? How it's going to impact you. Then you stand a chance to go home with 2,000 naira airtime today, before the end of work today. Yeah. So thank you once again for joining us for our roundtable session this week. Remember, this is the second week of November. We only have less than 7 weeks to the end of the year. Less than 7 weeks to the end of the year. And for those of us who sell real estate, we are in our season. The dry season is our season to sell real estate. Most of us who are still selling lands. So we are in our season. The roads are drier now. The weather is conducive for people to come out for inspection. There's no rain stopping people from coming out for inspections. People are in the mood to spend. The festivity, yes, we are great. There were some people who were shooting knockout behind our compound yesterday. I was like, oh, we are there already. So people are already in the celebratory mood. And you know what comes with it? The impulse to spend money, to show off. So you need to put yourself in a position where you will be able to divert most of those funds to your pocket. Many people are willing to spend 20 million now, 10 million now. They want to show the world that 2024 was a good year despite T-Pain. So they want to show the world that they have made a lot of money. So you need to put yourself in that situation where you are a conduit for their money. So as they are spending the money, it's going through you and you're getting your commission, right? So we're in our season. So you have to go back to your numbers, revisit your leads. Those people you spoke to in January, this is the time they might yield. Yeah? Revisit your leads, revisit your clients, revisit even those ones that bought from you. Yes. So this is the time you can make all the money you can make from now till March of next year, especially for those of us who are in River State, before the rain comes. So please, take yourself seriously this week and this month and before end of the year. And of course, it's for your own good. Right? So that's that about that. So any other question, ask in the next 5 minutes so that I can answer them about the training this morning. What stood out for you differently? What are you going to do differently for yourself? What did you learn from the training today? Those online and those on site. What did you learn from the training this morning? How is it going to impact your business as a person? 1 or 2 people, then we call it a day before the operations manager come and give her announcement. Did we learn anything? Was it impactful? I'm waiting, please. What did you learn, Elioma? What did you learn from the training? So what are you going to learn differently this week? Huh? Beautiful. Beautiful. Father, come and meet me later. I will give you what to learn. Yeah. So who else learned something? What was striking for? Okay. Period.
It's about putting more strength in being enlightened
Yeah.
and fun.
Yeah.
Like, based on what you say,
Yeah.
I really understand that fun is good, right?
But you need to define it.
Yes, you need to define
What fun is for you. Yes, you need to define the kind of fun you're having.
You're having fun to do your business.
Better, yes, or you're having fun to kill yourself for no reason, to shorten your life and your destiny. Yes, now. Yes, there's some people that go to club every 2 days, 2 working days. Some now every working day, as they come to work today, finish, they go in the night, do it. Yes, now every working day. Then on Saturday and Sunday is another level. They go to smoke shisha, smoke they come out from here. I want to understand something. Is there competition as to who smokes, as in who smoke comes out from their head more? Because some people when they drag it, everywhere cloud, you know. So I'm not against it. But what I'm saying is that we could not take a easy. I beg. Before you explode, before you open exhaust pipe, I beg. So some people have fun every working day. So you need to define what fun is to you. For me, fun is naira and kobo dropping, I'm dollars dropping inside my bank. They hide me. Yes. They hide me. It makes me look like I'm smoking 7 cups of shisha. Like this, plugged it everywhere in my head and I'm smoking. So you need to define, thank you so for that period. Define what fun is to you. You can. You have that power to define it. Don't allow the world to define what fun is for you. They will kill you. See, the world's definition of fun is destructive. Oh. It's not in the Bible. The Bible didn't say fun is, you know, as you don't take alcohol, you can't look like this. You can't lose cognition. No. That's not what Bible says fun is. No. For the Bible says you should be drunk in the Holy Spirit. Of course, if you prayed so hard before in the Holy Spirit, you'll be drunk. You'll be misbehaving. So you need to define what fun is for you. Thank you so much for that period. Who else learned something from the training today? Yeah.
To me,
Okay.
Today I've come to realize the actual difference between an entrepreneur, an investor, and employee.
An employee and an inherited wealth owner.
Like I said, 75% of those who are already there.
70% are entrepreneurs.
Yes. Well, 70 rather. 25% of
Investors.
5%. So have re-strategized.
No, 5% is inherited. Employees know they gain. Employees are not wealthy people. See, in the grand scheme of events in the world today, employees are not rated as wealthy people, no matter how much they have made, because their money will win with time. So go ahead.
And also, the one you said, the pathway to becoming a star.
Yes, a shining light.
Yes.
Yes. This should be an eye opener. Yeah, this should be an eye opener. Yes. I was even expecting many of you to talk about this, but it's fine. Many of you are scared about this. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. This is actually doable in a year. You can become this in a year. In 6 months, you can master something in 6 months. You can build a community in 6. You can. Thank you for that. Who else learned something? Yes, okay.
What I learned is that you have to first enlighten yourself before enlightening.
Yes. Yeah, you Igbo. Okay. Only Shanhe. So that's exactly what it is actually. Yeah. So you need to first of all enlighten yourself before you enlighten others. Yes. Honestly. And that's why, and there's what we call negative enlightenment and positive enlightenment. Why you see that the Western world today are tilting towards destruction by themselves, because they have been schooled by the system negatively. So one man shot himself and his family. Immediately Trump was declared winner. Because of what media has fed him, that Trump is a Hitler. Trump is against lesbianism and gay. Trump will now begin to drive the Christian narrative. So he doesn't want to be Christianized. So immediately Trump was declared, he shot himself, shot his wife, shot his children, and shot himself. So you understand? So that is negative enlightenment. When I said that everybody is part-time under an enlightenment, illumination. It could be darkening, it could be brightening. So you should always know that. So thank you for that. So you have to first of all be enlightened before you can be able to enlighten others. In fact, the world is in dire need of people to lead them. The world lacks leadership. See Tinubu now. See what Tinubu is doing to us, messing us up. The world needs great leaders, and this is the pathway. This is the pathway. One thing this thing helps you to develop is character. Many people that don't have character today are people that didn't pursue this pathway. So, for example, somebody now go and use 100 and line up sleep. You know, they talk line up sleep. Sleep we do like this. And 100 million, the 100 naira can't play. I'm talking about betting, for those of you who are not aware. Line up sleep. Tissue paper. The thing now played 100 million. You go thank God now. But there's no character. There's no character. Same thing for people who do Ponzi, who do, crypto and the rest. Many of them don't have character. So because they didn't pursue this pathway, basically. So what learning, doing, mastering, and training helps you to do is it helps you to develop character. Helps you to develop character, which is the single most important thing every human being should pursue. You should be somebody of proven character. You understand? You shouldn't be flippant. You shouldn't be stupid. What you do enter your head, you should have control over it. So what this helps you is to build the stamina to manage and multiply wealth. Yes. Yeah. So thank you so much. Who said that? Who actually said that? Yeah, thank you for that. You need to illuminate before you self-illuminate before you can externally illuminate people. So does anybody have any other thing to say? I think I've come to the end of. Okay, Prince.
Okay, what I asked is that how to guide the mind because from the mind is where production is.
Yes. Yes. Your mind is who you are. Yes. You're equal to your mind. So you're able to do some certain kind of things because that's what your mind tells you to do per time. Out of the abundance of the mind, the mouth speaketh. Yes. Your mind is who you. Yeah. The result you are bringing to the table is the amount of result in your mind. You cannot, circumvent that. It's a fact. So you need to guide your mind diligently with all your life. The kind of information that enters it and leaves it. Sorry, forget living first. The kind of information that enters it, you have to guide it with all your life. And how do you guide that? Through your ear and through your eye gates. Your ear and your eye gate. This is the two ways you feed your mind. So what you watch and what you hear. So there's some situations you should find yourself. You should literally block off and close your eyes and say, why are you a Jew man? You're not going to understand. Because you're trying to guide yourself. Yes. See, it is easier to pull down than to build. A character you have been able to build in 10 years, one day of taking you to club is enough to squander you usually, to make you stupid for life. I'm serious. Serious now. I know what I'm talking about. You've been able to build character for 15 years. Immediately you go club, can't see people. You say, can people be this useless? Can people be this no manners? That is the beginning of the downfall of many. And I'm telling you, and it will require another round of evangelism again for you to now begin to evangelize them again. It not going to work because with the kind of enjoyment they encountered in that 2 hours inside that club, the 15 years of their life, one bit of it they never even taste them. Elemo can know what I'm talking. They never even taste them. So it is easier to pull down than to build. So your eye gate and your ear gate is the fastest way to attack your mind. That is why the whole Nollywood is a $1 trillion industry. Music industry, Whiskey and Davido, $1 trillion industry. Because it's about the ears and the eyes. And the media, the world understand these concepts. That's why they keep selling you narratives via visuals and music. So you need to guide your heart with all diligence through this. So always put yourself in situations where you are feeding yourself with good information. Please. In that same YouTube you go to watch stupid things, there are still enormous amount of valuable resources you can watch. But because the algorithm has been programmed to kill you, when you enter there, you now start seeing that Equatorial Guinea man. That's the first thing you see. That's the first thing the first 10 videos of Equatorial Guinea. I don't know Equatorial Guinea. And that is killing you, wasting your time. So you need to guide your mind. Very important. Very, very important. And If for no reason you're an adult, you should set boundaries. You should be serious with your life. Yeah. So, thank you. Does anybody have anything to learn? I think I'm done here. I think I'm done here for now. So you also need to understand how dark you are currently. You need to analyze. You need to come to the fact. You need to decide. You need to discover how dark you are currently. Every one of us, as long as we are still on this planet, is battling darkness, right? Because whether you like it or not, narratives are being shoved down your throat every day. Yes, being shoved down your throat every day. That Pastor Chris hit somebody will never trend, but immediately Equatorial Guinea came, it permeated the whole media space. It's intentional. So you need to constantly reevaluate the amount of darkness that is infiltrating you per time. That will now determine the amount of light you need to put in every day. So you need to always do that. You need to also ask yourself, do you truly need this light? Honestly, you need to ask yourself that question. Do you truly need to become this shining light? Or you are just okay with the way you are? All right, so thank you once again for joining us today. I want to thank and congratulate everybody that joined us for our roundtable session today. And also encourage you guys to join us for Thursday. This Thursday, we are not going to miss it. It's going to be our Billions Corner Weekly, where we do deep dive into strategies, practical strategies on sales and character and entrepreneurship, as the case may be. So join us by 8 p.m. We have moved it to 8 p.m. every Thursday. So join us on Thursday by 8 p.m. to learn more about how to sell real estate properly, right? How to build great relationships and change your life, Eliomon. Change your life. Beautiful. So always join us on Thursday by 9 p.m. and on Mondays by 10 a.m. for our roundtable sessions, where we groom us and train us to become better people. So our roundtable sessions every Monday is sponsored by the Win Realty Limited, your choice real estate company here in Port Harcourt, of course, with 3 years of proven business and satisfying customers in collaboration with Win Academy, the academic arm of the company that helps to train our people and get them ready for the marketplace. So do well to encourage your downlines and your Win associates to join us every Monday and every Thursday, where we have this deep dive and this rebirth of the mind. Thank you and have a wonderful week ahead. God bless you.